there is any event that has influenced Nigerian democracy the most, it is probably June 12 presidential election. And if there is any individual that is most mentioned in the circle of pro-democracy movements, it surely would be Basharu Moshood, Kashimawo or Lawale Abiola. The entrance of Chief Moshood Abiola into Nigeria's political scene was a huge boost for the transition to democracy, midwifed by General Ibrahim Babangida's regime. Abiola, an Ogun State-born and University of Glasgow-trained accountant, who later became chartered, was a successful businessman in all ramifications. Indeed, he was arguably the foremost businessman in Nigeria and Africa in his days. He was also a man with massive international clout. Along with his immense wealth, Chief Moshood Abiola was a man endowed with a large heart. His philanthropic gestures transcended national and international barriers. He was rooted and sought after in his locality, as he was relevant in the continent. For this reason, he was bestowed with over 100 religious and traditional titles. Chief Abiola came into politics at a time when Nigerians were suffering from the oppressive and repressive rule by the military. The content of his political jingles captured the problems of the masses under military rule and offered hope to the people yearning for change.
Now why for this life, oh, now so palava. I tire for this problem, I tire for life, oh. Guinea, no work, no food, no house, no life. This small water, then they bring now so dirty, they pull am. This small money, I they get now so transport, they chop am. School low, na headache, hospital, no work. I tire for life, oh. My brother, waiting you they think, oh. My sister, help don't come. SDP, MKO, Kingibe, action. MKO, Kingibe, SDP, progress. Abiola na the hope, SDP na the party to solve our problem and better our life, oh. MKO, 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 action. Abiola, 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 progress. Now him be the hope for better tomorrow.
With a firm belief in the potential of the nation and the tremendous possibilities that can be unleashed through good governance, Basharu MKO Abiola threw his heart into the ring of the political contest that led to the June 12 presidential election, an ambition he reportedly nursed for about 20 years.
In 5 years' time, no Nigerian child will go to bed hungry by the grace of God.
Chief MKO Abiola's cult, like fellowship, and the massive support enjoyed during the electioneering campaign was a product of the seed sown before the time. Again, the participation of a man who has been a long-standing friend and associate of the military establishment gave some level of confidence to Nigerians that the military was ready to hand over power to the civilians. His message reverberated across the length and breadth of Nigeria. His campaign song spoke to the heart and soul of the nation. No wonder they became instant hits popularly chanted by majority of Nigerians because it was a message of hope, a hope for freedom.
Nigeria on the march again.
On the march again.
Looking for Mr. President.
On the march again.
MKO is our man. Again.
On the march again.
SDP the people's choice.
On the march again.
MKO is the man.
Across the land, the support was massive. It cut across tribal, cultural, and religious sentiments. Not even the Muslim tickets fielded by the party, Social Democratic Party, SDP, could influence the people's support for their symbol of hope. It was with that great enthusiasm that Nigerians trooped out en masse on Saturday, 12th June 1993 to cast their votes for Chief Moshood Abiola. The election was adjudged the freest and fairest in the history of Nigeria. However, as Chief Abiola was coasting home to victory, the process was interrupted by the military junta through a broadcast by the then head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida.
It is true that the presidential election was generally seen to be free, fair, and peaceful. However, there was in fact a huge array of electoral malpractices virtually in all the states of the Federation before the actual voting began.
The annulment came as a rude shock to Chief Abiola, the party, Nigerians, and indeed the international community who believed before that the military meant business.
There were postponements and cancellations too. The country knows how busy and how otherwise occupied I've been all my life. Knowing fully well the misfortune of other distinguished Nigerians in the recent past, I made the wildest possible consultation and sought assurances that I would not be chasing shadows. These assurances were given, in some cases from the highest level of government. I consulted the president himself, and he gave the assurance himself that this time around he was serious. I was therefore convinced that the commitment to civilian rule come August 27, 1993 was firm, settled, and irrevocable. I could not imagine that the purported transgressions of the judiciary could possibly today. Nigerian polls crab as democracy is put on hold. Nigerian general voice vote blocking civilian rule. I will give you copies of all this. The International Observer Group says so. NEC itself says so. They know it and they said it. In his affidavit to the Court of Appeal in Kaduna, NEC said the results were already unknown. I won.
Determined to defend their votes and see to the end of the military, Nigerians took to the streets in protest against the very unpopular decision. This also led to the exit of General Babangida, who set up and handed over to an interim national government headed by Chief Ernest Shonekan.
I, Ernest Adegunle Oladende Shonekan, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
Rather than reverse the decision to set up an interim national government complicated the situation and heightened the tension that already occasioned the crisis. General Sani Abacha, the military dictator, took advantage of the situation to topple the interim government in a palace coup.
The interim national government is hereby dissolved. The national and state assemblies are also dissolved. The state executive councils are dissolved. The brigade commanders are to take over from the governors in their states until administrators are appointed. Where there are no brigade commanders, the commissioners of police in the states are to take over.
The takeover of power by General Abacha and the dismantling of all political structure already on ground worsened the situation. Nigerians already running out of the antics of the military intensified the protest. Rather than handle the situation with caution, the military junta responded with force, leading to the killing of many Nigerians. In rare demonstration of the qualities of the Are Onokakanfo, a title which he held with pride, Chief Moshood Abiola, having come to terms with the antics of General Sani Abacha, declared a government of national unity with himself as the president. The popular Ekpetedo Declaration was a watershed in Nigeria political history.
It will continue off and on until the military release the result of the June 12 election and put the democratically elected president, who is myself, in charge of affairs.
The declaration also changed the course of the democratic struggle as Abacha turned to a full-blown dictator. Several pro-democracy activists, popularly Chief MKO Abiola, were arrested on the order of the military in 1994.
Government has always expressed its commitment to dialogue as a means of resolving our internal differences. We have demonstrated this by our individual and collective efforts at holding consultation at all strata of our society. You will recall that in spite of these overtures and good gestures by government, Chief MKO Abiola flagrantly perpetuated acts which breached the laws of the land, but government in its magnanimity never gave him serious attention. His most recent action of declaring himself the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria incited the public to insurrection and attempting to topple the government by force with a view to installing himself as president, however led to his arrest by the law enforcement agents.
What is happening at your house? Are you being arrested?
I'm being arrested. I'm just going out now with the police.
Hello?
There's a large crowd here, and I was being escorted out to detention by singing the national anthem.
Why are they arresting you?
They are arresting me on an allegation of felony, nameless treason or something like that. They're not doing anything, they're just taking me away. Please let me go. I'm delaying them.
And so where are you now? Are you in your car?
I'm in my car now.
Is it police who are with you in your car, or are they escorted? Are they
Yes, the commissioner of police is in the car with me, and my senior wife is in the car with me.
Why are they letting you talk on the phone to the BBC while they're in the middle of arresting you?
They have come to arrest me, not to arrest my mouth.
You sound very cheerful about it, Chief Abiola.
Of course. It is all part of democracy here.
And you're happy to go to the police and await whatever charges they're going to file against you?
I'm not in any way disturbed by it. Any sacrifice is in order. If it will bring democracy, peace and prosperity to Nigeria.
Is it possible to talk to the Commissioner of Police who's with you in the car?
I don't know if the Commissioner of Police is authorized to talk. He cannot talk to the press.
What is your advice now to your supporters, many of whom we heard a moment ago?
Well, I told them before I left home to just stay calm. It is very, very important that they stay calm.
So you're appealing for calm. You don't want them to take any direct action in your support?
No.
You still say you're the president of Nigeria, but it's not much good if you're going to be in jail.
Well, Mandela was in jail for 27 years. Kenyatta was in jail. I suppose that is one of the qualifications you need in this part of the world. Don't worry yourself, my friend.
It took the death of Sani Abacha in 1998 and the takeover of power by General Abdulsalam Abubakar for those incarcerated to be released. Unfortunately, Chief MKO Abiola died in a very controversial circumstances prior to his release. In this struggle, his wife, Alhaja Kudirat Abiola, was also gunned down in broad light. Upon their death, the struggle for the revalidation of June 12 mandates changed to the call on the federal government to recognize the day as the National Democracy Day. The posthumous declaration of Chief Moshood Abiola as the winner of the election and his immortalization as a national hero. Again, this went on for 19 years until President Muhammadu Buhari, in a national broadcast on 29th May 2018, officially recognized and declared 12th of June as the National Democracy Day. Similarly, Chief MKO Abiola was conferred with the highest national honor of the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, GCFR. His vice presidential candidate, Ambassador Babagana Kingibe, and the fairy lawyer and human rights crusader, Chief Gani Fawehinmi, were also conferred with the Grand Commander of the Niger, GCON. The history of June 12 will be incomplete without making reference to elders and heroes of democracy, past and present. The celebration of June 12, therefore, is about celebrating Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, GCFR. It is also about the many people who died, were handed or went into exile during the struggle to revalidate the election. Indeed, it is about recognizing the undying spirits and sacrifice of Nigerians who sustained the battle till date. In its Hall of Fame, Lagos State retains a pride of place for accommodating and serving as the hotbed of the pro-democracy movement.